Welcome to Future Ready with Bechtle, the podcast where we explore the technologies, ideas and strategies that are shaping tomorrow's workplace. Each episode we'll bring together thought leaders, innovators and industry experts from within Bechtle to discuss how organisations can adapt, grow and thrive in a world defined by constant change. From AI to cloud, cybersecurity and sustainability and on to the modern workplace, we'll help you cut through the noise and get future ready. Today on Future Ready with Bechtle, I'll be joined by Scott Coombs, a networking consultant here at Bechtle UK, and we'll be talking about the changing in the networking industry with the advent of AI-enabled networks. We'll be speaking about how AI-enabled networking solutions are changing the lives of network engineers and network architects today. We'll be talking about what you should consider when building a future-ready network that's fit to last the next 5, 10 years and beyond. And we'll be speaking about how the networking industry is changing with the mergers of vendors and the development of new technologies. I hope you enjoy the episode, and if you do, please ensure that you like and subscribe wherever you get your podcast from. So Scott, what difference is AI making to networking today?
So it's really been... It's those two market leaders that have since come together, Juniper and Aruba. So they're the ones that have really taken the data that they were gathering in their cloud platforms, fed it in to an AI engine and started to teach their platforms what a good network looks like. And so this is where we've really started to see it. So when we've been rolling out Aruba networks over the last few years, the central platform has had that AI assistant in it. And then Juniper with Mist, who are really leading the way, have got an excellent engine that they've built from the ground up. And we're starting to see that really kick in and have an effect on the market. And when people are seeing these platforms, they're absolutely loving what they're doing.
Yeah, I suppose that it feels to me, I was saying earlier, it feels like we've kind of had like 3 different generations of networking. I remember ProCurve Manager and Cisco Prime, very on-premise kind of ways of managing large networks. And then we've kind of had that cloud piece with Cisco Meraki and Aruba. So this is now for me, it's like the 3rd, but I suspect you're going to tell me there's 4 or more.
I'd say it's at least 4, really, because if you think about it, you start with command line, your old Cisco switches, you're doing everything on the command line, and then you've moved over to, you've got web interfaces, and then obviously things like the Prime and DNA Center came along later, and other management platforms. And then you've got the cloud. Meraki kind of led the way there, along with Aerohive in their cloud managed networking. And then AI has kicked in. So Mist, Aruba Central, and all the major vendors are now bringing AI into their cloud managed platforms.
Can you share a story where network automation and AI has solved a problem or resolved an outage?
For me, as coming from the kind of engineering side, I've been there, I've done it. I've been on the front line looking after customers' networks. And one of the biggest headaches is when somebody comes along and said, oh, the Wi-Fi's slow. Or the internet's down, and then you spend ages investigating why that might be. It can be a multitude of things. What AI is bringing is it's finding these things for you immediately. And quite often, it's telling you about them before you even know they've happened, and actually giving you that data because they know what a good looks like, and they're monitoring the whole network for you. They're able to highlight where the problem is. And it's all about that mean time to innocence as well. Okay. So quite often, the Wi-Fi gets blamed for whatever problem's going on.
It's always the network.
It's always the network, yeah, exactly, yeah. The Wi-Fi's really slow today, or I can't connect. And actually, what these systems are helping engineers find out quicker is it isn't actually the Wi-Fi. The Wi-Fi is working fine. There may be a problem with the DHCP server in the background, or there's a router not configured right, or there's a switch with a VLAN missing. And those sorts of things would take an engineer half a day to a day, like investigating all these platforms to find out what's happening. The platform can see that whole network immediately and can look at everything really quickly and then come back and say, do you know what? you've got a broken cable over there, or this VLAN's missing on this switch, or this DHCP server took a really long time to respond. So the engineer now knows, right, it's not the Wi-Fi. I need to go down here, I need to replace that cable. I need to go and look at the DHCP server, maybe reboot it, whatever. It's that mean time to innocence, which AI is helping to reduce drastically.
So that's how AI is changing the life of a networking engineer. But how's it actually changing life for you as a network architect? How is it changing how you design and go about building networks?
When I'm talking to customers now, more and more you're finding IT teams are shrinking big time, or they're being asked to do more with the same number of people. It's a bit unfortunate. There's some people still see IT as a bit of an expense rather than an enabler, and it's something we are trying to sort of educate more. But being able to go to a customer and say, look, I can effectively give you another member of staff with this AI engine on your network. You don't need to replace anybody. This will help your engineers now and give them back a lot of time. So you can start doing the more proactive stuff because you've got the network is looking after itself. The network will tell you when there's an issue, and it'll tell you what that issue is. So all that time your engineers were spending investigating things and troubleshooting been drastically reduced. So now you can shift them onto those more proactive things that really help your business. The things that your business wants you to do that you just haven't been able to do because you're too busy keeping the lights on. Now you'll get the time to do that.
Is your Microsoft Copilot adoption program failing to deliver for you? Are you unsure that you've got the right training for your people? Are you failing to keep up with the change and new features that Microsoft are releasing regularly? Then reach out to Bechtle. We can help. We can help you understand what's coming and how your business can best benefit and build a program that works for you. And Scott, what's your take on the HP Juniper merger? What should customers be looking out for?
So I think obviously there's been some concern. People who are new to these platforms might be looking at them and go, well, why would I want to buy that now? I don't know what the future lies for this. Am I going to buy products now and in 2 years' time, they've been end-of-lifed early because they've come together? That's not the case. So HP and Juniper are going to carry on with the roadmaps they've had before the merger. They were both in development of more features. Aruba bringing a new version of Central. All that's still going. What you will see is, my personal opinion, I haven't had anything official as of yet, but my personal opinion is, I think the first thing to come together will be the data going into the AI engines. So we'll probably find the AI engines coming together. Aruba's has been really good, but the market leader by a mile is Juniper. So I can see that technology coming in, improving things on the Aruba side. And I think as you move forward, we're talking a few years' time, Wi-Fi 7 has just come out. Both have Wi-Fi 7 ranges. They're not going anywhere. But when you start looking at something like Wi-Fi 8, I think that's where you'll start seeing the hardware starting to come together.
That'd be the logical point time to do that.
Exactly. Yeah. I'm not going to speculate on what they're going to do platform-wise because they're both good platforms and they've both been doing a lot of development on them recently. I don't know where that's going, whether that'll merge or there'll be some sort of choice between going mist, or I wouldn't want to speculate on that right now. It's because it's such early days. But hardware wise, I think from Wi-Fi 8 is when you're going to start seeing the consolidation coming forward.
Scott, so you and I regularly see network switching that's 5, 7, 10 years old or longer. When we're building that network for the future, what does that look like? What should people be investing in to make sure that it lasts?
Yeah. So with every new generation of Wi-Fi, they're moving everybody more towards that Wi-Fi first approach and trying to disconnect the cables. I'm a bit old school. I still think cable is better because that's
guaranteed connection.
It's guaranteed connection. That entire bandwidth is yours on any Wi-Fi network. It's always contested bandwidth. But like the latest generation Wi-Fi 7, what they've done there, the magic they've done with the radio there, where it can, more devices can get on, you can share the resources better, it's faster connections. So you're going to get more and more stuff connecting over Wi-Fi. But you can't forget the switching. Even if your end devices are all going Wi-Fi, in the background, all those APs need to connect to a switch. So what's happening is bottlenecks are moving. It used to be the bottleneck was the AP.
Yeah.
That was the slowest point on the network. Now it's becoming the switch. So you need the switches to be able to support the sort of speeds that you're going to be getting from especially the higher end latest APs.
So we're talking 10 gig switching and above?
You're talking at least 2.5.
Okay.
But yeah,
M
will
gig.
be up. Once you get into Wi-Fi 8, you could be looking at 10 gig on the higher end stuff for sure. Even at Wi-Fi 7 now, if you're going to be really heavily using the highest end Wi-Fi 7 APs, yeah, you need a 10 gig connection back to the switch. So that's where the bottleneck. So if you're now looking to build a network ready for the next few years, you have to have multi-gig switching in there. The higher end APs, they need more power. So you need something that's running at PoE++. You're talking sort of 60 watt power.
Oh, wow.
Yeah. So you need to start thinking
Charge my EV Newt soon off the
yes,
switch,
you
right?
will be able to, yeah. Just plug an Ethernet cable into your Tesla and away you go.
I need the charger on the desktop, right? 60 watts powers a laptop now.
Yeah, pretty much. Yeah, you could do that. So you need that. That's what you need to think about in the switching. And then, of course, you've then got to look up through that stack.
And it flows back through,
Yeah,
right?
exactly. Yeah, so that's your access switching. Then you're going to need to up your core. All these heavy-duty access switches, high-speed access switches are going to have higher speed links back up to the core. So you need to look at that. Alongside that, obviously, then it's the cabling infrastructure. If you're still running on Cat5, you now need to be taking that out.
Yeah.
You're going to need Cat6, Cat6A, Cat7, maybe even Cat8 to get those speeds.
That's a really interesting point, actually, because Cat 5 and Cat 5e has lasted so long, right? It's been relevant. You know, people were flood wiring buildings with Cat 5e when I entered the industry, and I had hair, you know, and and a much smaller waist size, right? You know, a quarter of a century ago nearly now, and Cat 5e. And it feels like it's only really in this last year or two that it's really started to show its age and it's time to reinvest. So that's something that people should be conscious of, particularly if they're moving building or doing renovations, that kind of thing. Putting in the right infrastructure, even if you're not doing the old, you know, 3 points per desk approach, it needs to be higher quality cabling.
Absolutely, yeah, because you're running at higher speeds over that, and yeah, Cat 5e could handle 10 gig, but not at a full 100 meters.
Yeah,
so you'll need to think about that.
And this conversation's been fantastic. If you're like me, a network geek, you know, or enthusiast, I probably wouldn't necessarily upgrade myself as far as geek, but an enthusiast for that conversation. But if we're thinking about how we translate that to the boardroom, what we're really saying here is that you're at this juncture now that it's probably time to think about reinvesting in the network for the future, and that's probably includes physical cabling as well as the underlying switching. But doing that now is going to stand you in good stead for the next 5-10 years or so.
Absolutely, yeah, it's definitely worth it.
It's really exciting times. I think it's certainly the biggest kind of change in terms of network management, that piece of that AI is giving that opportunity so that we're not beholden to just such a small skill set level. And people can understand, because it's always the black box, right? And perhaps we can get away from the meantime to innocence conversation next time we speak, right?
Yeah, for sure.
Well, it's been a real pleasure having you here, Scott.
Thank you.
Thank you very much. It's been great.
Good stuff. Thank you.
Nice.